Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Friday, August 12, 2016. If you want to follow us on Twitter, please go to CATEX TV. A series of explosions has racked Thailand over the past 24 hours, targeting tourist towns, killing 4 people and injuring dozens. 4 bombs exploded in the resort town of Hua Hin, while several blasts hit the island of Phuket, which is a top tourist destination there, within a 24-hour period. No group has claimed responsibility yet, but suspicion is falling on separatist insurgents. The timing is also sensitive, as today is a holiday marking the birthday of the Queen of Thailand. There was a serious turbulence issue on a JetBlue flight from Boston to Sacramento last evening. 22 passengers and 2 crew members were hospitalized. Flight number 429 had to be diverted to Rapid City, South Dakota at about 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. A number of customers said that the injured people, with the exception of the flight attendants, were all people who did not have their seat belts on. Flight attendants, of course, don't wear seat belts most of the time because they're moving around the cabin. However, 20 of the passengers apparently were not wearing their seat belts, and when the plane encountered the turbulence, their heads hit the ceiling of the plane. There's a reason they tell you to leave your seat belt on. National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, has updated its Atlantic Basin forecast for hurricanes. It's now predicting between 2 and 4 Category 3 or above storms. This is a slight increase from the May forecast, as the season is now predicted to be the most active since 2012. NOAA said, "It's important to note that regardless of the overall number of storms that develop, it only takes one significant landfalling hurricane to entirely change the perception of the season." This is true. If a Hurricane 5 storm strikes Miami and is the only storm of the season, the perception will be that it was a terrible hurricane season. Apparently now Insurance Insider is reporting that the reason Lloyd's has temporarily abandoned its insurance risk index was because of concerns from the regulator, the Prudential Regulation Authority, that was concerned about insider trading possibilities. The insider is saying that the PRA had concerns about the way that the index would operate, especially in relation to potential market manipulation, and pushed back hard against Lloyd's plans. One of the concerns that the PRA apparently had was that investors would not be able to adequately understand the data behind the index. They said that they were concerned, especially when the risk index opened up to other lines of business, which might be a little bit more esoteric insofar as being able to be understood by investors. Of course, all of this follows on the heels of the LIBOR index manipulations of several years ago. Lloyd's, to its credit, said that insider trading and market manipulation present significant issues for everyone, and Lloyd's will not publish its index until Lloyd's and the regulators are satisfied that appropriate safeguards are in place. There was a large 7.2 earthquake that struck off the Pacific island of Fiji earlier today. It was about 330 miles from Vanuatu, but more importantly, it was about 1,200 miles away from Brisbane to the east. Brisbane, Australia, a major city. It was a straight shot. There's no land between where the hurricane hit and Brisbane. So there was a tsunami warning that was immediately issued but subsequently canceled. But you can be sure that the Brisbaneans were watching very carefully. There were 2 aftershocks, a 5.4 and a 6.1, so it was a pretty big event. An academic paper was published saying that a sizable proportion of 100 million Volkswagens sold since 1995 can be unlocked remotely by hackers. A homemade radio costing only about $45 is the only hardware an attacker needs. The paper was released by researchers from the University of Birmingham in England and the German security firm Casper and Oswald. Before publishing the research, the team behind the paper agreed with Volkswagen that some key pieces of information would be withheld. The researchers said that after they alerted Volkswagen to the problem back in November, they set up meetings with the company to help them understand their vulnerability. The researcher said, quote, We had very fruitful discussions. There was a very good atmosphere. They also observed that there were at least 10 more widespread hacking schemes affecting various other car makers that the researchers are currently attempting to arrange meetings with. Volkswagen did say that despite the hacking information, starting the car's engine via this method was not possible. So people could unlock the doors and sit in the car and take things from the car, but they could not drive the car away. Nigeria has announced an emergency mass polio vaccination campaign in the northeastern part of the country after 2 new polio cases emerged. This is the first 2 incidents of the highly infectious disease in Africa now for the past 2 years. The development is seen as a major setback for Nigeria, which was on track to be declared polio-free in 2017. The 2 paralyzed children were in Borno State, a part of the country that Boko Haram militants have hindered health campaigns. And here's an interesting story. The tallest residential building in San Francisco, the 58-story Millennium Tower, is apparently sinking and listing, according to residents who have filed a lawsuit. They say that, quote, there is an alarming 15-inch tilt at the top of the building, and they blame the developer who built the building, as well as the Trans-Bay Joint Powers Authority, which has dug, quote, the biggest hole the city has ever seen right next to the building. Since the tower was completed in 2008, the plaintiffs say that it has sunk a total of 31 inches and listed 15 inches to the side. Trans-Bay contests that, saying it's only sunk 15 inches. The tower apparently is built on, not on bedrock, unfortunately, but it's built on what used to be the shore of San Francisco Bay in an area that's susceptible to shaking and liquefaction in an earthquake. I don't know about being concerned about the listing and the sinking, but the question would be is what happens if there is a major earthquake. Tonight, Alex Rodriguez will play his final Major League Baseball game in New York City's Yankee Stadium against the Tampa Bay Rays. Mr. Rodriguez, if he does not hit any home runs tonight, will end up retiring 4 home runs short of 700. A career termed either illustrious or marred will have ended. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you.